Many fabrics, including non-arc rated cotton, polyester cotton blends, nylon, silk, and wool fabrics, are flammable and can ignite and continue to burn, resulting in serious injuries. Furthermore, non-arc rated synthetic materials such as nylon, polyester, polypropylene, and spandex can melt into the skin from an arc flash exposure, aggravating the burn injury. Significant injuries can occur when fabrics melt onto an employee's skin. Arc-rated PPE does not necessarily prevent the passage of thermal energy to the employee. However, properly rated PPE should limit thermal energy level impinged on the employee's body to one that does not cause worse than a second-degree burn. This energy level may be sufficient to melt undergarments onto the employee's skin. Therefore, undergarments must be made of non-melting material. An incident quantity of these fabrics, such as those in the elastic bands and underwear, is permitted. A balaclava sock hood is an arc-rated hood that protects the neck and head except for the facial areas of the eyes and nose. It fits tightly against the wearer's head and neck, and few air pockets exist between the balaclava and the wearer's skin. Only balaclavas having a tested arc rating and calories can be used to meet the requirements of the NFPA 70E. Balaclavas intended for warmth must not be worn as arc flash protection. This picture shows a balaclava sock hood with an arc thermal performance value rating of 28 calories. A barricade is a physical obstruction such as tapes, cones, or A-frame type wood or metal structures intended to provide a warning and to limit access. A barricade might consist of warning tape and cones as shown in this picture. Physical or mechanical field fabricated barriers shall be installed no closer than the limited approach boundary distance. While the barrier is being installed, the limited approach boundary distance shall be maintained, or the energized conductors or circuit parts shall be placed in electrically safe work condition. The placement of barriers and barricades will often be your duty as part of the performing task. The limited approach boundary distance will not be found on an equipment label. It should be on the energized work permit. If the task does not require a work permit, you must be capable of determining the distance from the appropriate table. Barricades are not intended to prevent approach to an area. Instead, a barricade is intended to act as a warning device. When installed, the barricade should enclose the area containing the electrical hazard. If signs and barricades do not provide sufficient warning and protection from electrical hazards, an attendant shall be stationed to warn and protect employees. The primary duty and responsibility of an attendant providing manual signaling and alerting shall be to keep unqualified employees outside of the work area where the unqualified employee might be exposed to electrical hazards. The attendant should have no other duty than to deliver the warning. Incident energy is the amount of thermal energy impressed on a surface a certain distance from the source, generated during an electrical arc event. Incident energy is typically expressed in calories per square centimeter. Predicting the amount of available incident energy is crucial in selecting appropriate PPE. Properly rated PPE prevents injury from melting or burning clothing or from direct skin exposure due to the increased temperature during arcing fault. Using PPE rated above the calculated incident energy value can raise the probability of the employee being protected. A qualified person is one who has demonstrated skills and knowledge related to the construction operations of electrical equipment and installations and has received safety training to identify the hazards and reduce the associated risk. A qualified employee must understand the construction and operation of the equipment or circuit associated with the planned work task. An employee could be qualified to perform one work task and not be qualified to perform a different work task on that same piece of equipment. An employee could also be qualified to work on one piece of equipment but not another similar piece of equipment. Many states and local government licensing programs have training requirements that must be met for a person to be considered qualified. The applicant must be examined initially and then periodically after procuring a license. The license in and of itself does not make a person qualified under the requirements of the NFPA 70E for all tasks or equipment that may be encountered. For example, often the licensing of electricians qualifies them for installing electrical equipment in accordance with the NEC, but may not qualify them to maintain the same piece of equipment. Electrical work requires continuing education and demonstration of the necessary skills in order to maintain the requisite skill level to work safely.